I'm the Ninja Wolfman, and welcome to our try out verdict about Vampyr. So I completed the game, and these are just a few of the points I wanted to address. I know the game has been out for a bit of time now, but if you haven't picked it up already, maybe this will help you decide whether or not to buy it. So you're gonna see some clips about the game, you're gonna see me playing it, and of course you're gonna hear how I felt about playing the game and certain aspects of it. First off, we have the boss fights. Now, for this boss fight I didn't really intend to start it actually. I just kind of dropped in as I was exploring. But apparently certain boss fights do have this mechanic that you just come across some bosses which overall shouldn't give you too much trouble. The boss you find just in the world aren't that hard to beat. Some of the story bosses, however, are a bit of a challenge. As you can see, they do take a bit of damage if you got the right equipment. They all have certain tactics, certain abilities. Some of them have shared abilities, like the shadow guys you just saw that grab attack now. More than one boss in the game has that, and you can learn to anticipate it. As you can see in the left hand corner, I am only level 15 while I'm doing this. The boss himself, as you can see down below, is level 18. So 3 levels doesn't make that much of a difference. The main thing to remember here is just don't get overly confident. That was my mistake against this boss. I was seeing how much damage I was doing and I was caught unaware of certain tells of the moves he was about to do, which landed me in a bit of hot water. As you can see, my health is getting quite low, even to the point where I actually pause the game and try to look up how the hell do I heal again. So yeah, healing against bosses will help. At this point in the game I was just low on both healing items as well as how many I can carry. Didn't level up those. I mean, I favored my offensive abilities more. But you can definitely have a lot of healing and blood serums on you, so that you can make this fight even easier, and all fights for that matter, just not only this one. You can see, even, you know, I came back pretty strong, pretty easily once I got the healing potions properly equipped and used. Not using too much of my actual abilities, which you can see in the right down corner. So yeah, and it ends with every boss for that matter ends with that little death scene. I mean, don't all bosses and all RPGs. So as far as bosses go, I was not that impressed with it. Now we come to our next little point. I'm still level 15 here, and we're coming across some normal enemies. Even, as you can see, a level 20. 5 levels above me, right numbers for them, and still, I mean, they're not killing me. This attack here, what he does is basically like spraying garlic. It has a lingering effect on your health. But even so, I mean, he's 6 levels above me and I still take him down easily. Also, as you can see here, I looted something. Not all loot is gonna be pretty obvious, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah, I dispatched them pretty easily. Went down fast. What more is there to say about that? These are human enemies. You also have vampire enemies, which are a bit harder, even at the same level. At least the echelons, the normal scale enemies aren't that hard either. Yeah, as you can see, again, 7 levels higher than me, still going down pretty easily. You get minimal XP for killing the normal enemies, which was kind of a surprise to me. In most RPGs you got like massive XPs for the enemies, and that's your main way of getting the experience points you need to level up. Though in here that's not so much the case. If you want to get stronger, you will have to actually suck the blood out of normal NPCs, and the game actually enforces like get to know these people, do quests for them, help them out. You know, if you actually want to level, suck their blood afterwards, which kinda blows. I mean, if you're going for a story-driven video game, then don't pull crap like that. Anyway, as you can see on the video now, I'm actually doing a quest. I found a house where there was some murder, an abduction, and I'm following a blood trail to the enemies, or to the person who was wrecked anyway. As you can see here, coming across some more enemies as well. Again, going down pretty easily. The biting you see me doing, actually, it improves my health again. As you can see now, it's not that massive an increase. You can level up the appropriate stats, so when you suck someone's blood out, you actually get more of your health back. Using some of the abilities on the enemies here, the ones with the staff, which I used the ability on, are a tougher bunch than your regular enemies. The light they're casting actually stuns you, which, if you are surrounded by enemies, will be able to kill you pretty fast. They are like creature varieties, I guess, of the normal run-of-the-mill enemies. You almost got me there. Now you can see the light, what it does. Stuns you. If he does that while those other two were alive, they could have ganged up on me and got some free hits in, putting me on the back leg. So even in conversation, the little circle you saw there will display your options. Right now it's displaying the options for me to examine the corpse of the lady whose blood trail I was following. So you can take items off her. Made by the fangs of vampires. So due to these clues, I get more of an idea what was going on there and how this particular lady died. So stuff like that beautiful watch I just pickpocketed off a corpse basically. Or you can sell them for parts, or just disintegrate them, sell it as a whole. Options are available. And this was a part in Vampyr that I really loved, that warping around with, you know, just the vampire jumping basically going all cloud smoky and just going from one ledge to the other. It's a fun way to get around. I mean, you don't have the fast travel option. I mean, this is pretty sweet to do. I spent a lot of time doing this. So as I entered that new area, you could see that it was in a critical state. And what that tells you is that there are a lot of problems there with the local population. You can help them out to get the area back in a positive state. Critical states have more enemies in them, have harder enemies in them. They can go all the way to hostile. Once they're hostile, basically all the NPCs who are in there die and everything gets replaced by enemies. This is the next bit, leveling. So in the right hand corner you can see I am spending the XP. I'm now on level 23. So what I do is I open a portion of the active skills and I pour XP into one of the abilities on screen, which allows me to basically sell my experience points for leveling and stronger abilities. And as I do, I just level up. So you went from level 22 in the start of this little segment to level 25 already. Still have 2,815 experience points left. As you saw there, most of the abilities have 2 paths they can take, and it's up to you. You can only choose one path depending on what suits your playing style, what you want to do. I got like I'm always leveling up my strength and my endurance, which is basically your overall health and your stamina. And then that's about it. Once you spend all your XP, it's pretty much over and you just have to confirm. After you confirm, you go to sleep basically for the day. And all the choices you did in that day take effect. So now we're just skipping to the following night. As you can see here, all the chains are taking effect. That particular borough, just Whitechapel, it went to hostile, all the people there died, all the NPCs. You can see it for every one of the areas, and all of them just take effect the moment you finish with your character building. So try to do as much as possible in the same night. It might be difficult due to the fact that you can't level up before doing all this stuff, and it gets harder along the way, but still, else you're gonna get situations like this where a lot of people are dying. There's another one, the dogs, definitely in a bad state. Should have done something about that. There we go, now I'm up again. The next day has started. So where am I now? Here you can see again the paralyzing effect. So as I was saying earlier, you can suck the NPC's blood, and I am doing that now. If you get treatments for certain diseases, you can give it to them. They get more experience that way when they're healthy. But so yeah, now I'm just mesmerized him, taking him somewhere remote, and I'm gonna suck the blood out of him. That's basically what you're gonna see going on here. Again, you can choose not to do this, but that will make the game harder. And now up is one of the more sad things about this game. Every time you do that to an NPC, he gets a little speech afterwards. So yeah, basically he says sorry sorry to his friend that he kinda left now, but don't worry, I'm gonna kill the friend too. I did this part right in front of the final boss. Now, the final boss was giving me a hard time. After I think playing 20 hours, I was at the final boss already, which was kind of fast. But I did most what the game expected me to do, up until the point that people started dying, all the citizens, all the NPCs. So I had to drop certain quests. Yeah, in 20 hours, well, around 20 hours, I was at this point where I went to the final boss a couple of times already, and I wasn't able to beat it. I'm not gonna say him, her, I'm just gonna say it, so not to spoil the game too much for you. So yeah, and I just decided like, okay, I can beat this guy. I'm not gonna farm for 10 experience points for each normal enemy that I kill. Just gonna go for it. I'm gonna kill all the NPCs in all the areas where they aren't dead yet. You can see I did a medical checkup there. I would get 700 experience points from killing him, which is of course a lot better than the 10 to 20 experience points I was getting up to this point for killing normal and random enemies. I will say this, it is kind of a drag to keep doing this, getting the citizen, getting him mesmerized, escorting him to a secluded area where I could suck the blood out of him. It takes a long time if you want to do it with an entire population, which of course I get. But at this point I was kind of wondering, like, you know, I'm gonna do all of them, so why bother with all this taking down the side corridor, keeping them quiet, and I would just kill them straight off and suck the blood. The others can run, sure, why not? But then again, I don't know, I mean, you're gonna die either way. There we go, got the 700 points out of that one. I should have chosen another clip for this, to be honest. Because this place was full of nurses and doctors, so people who are basically helping the population cope with everything that's going on. And I just decided, like, yeah, I'm gonna kill them all. Which of course would make for a great horror movie. Vampire movie set in a hospital. Well, yeah, I like that idea. If anyone knows about a movie such as that, please let me know. I would be very interested in watching one of those. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. They're still giving all their little speeches while I'm still just killing them, taking them to a remote place and just sucking the blood out of them. Now for my final verdict about Vampyr. To be honest, it was kind of I don't want to say boring. I mean, it had definitely had its moments. I liked it, but it wasn't as um, fantastic. Let's just go with fantastic. It didn't live up to the hype that we promised it would be. I mean, from all the footage we had seen, from everything we knew before booting up the game, I think most people expected a new version, excuse me for that, new version of Bloodline, the Massacre. I mean, the vampire video game from the 90s. It's still basically the standard for all vampire video games. And we were promised something like that. And to be honest, Vampyr did not live up to that hype that was set for it. What Vampyr is a entertaining game. I mean, if you come home from a hard day's work and you're just like, I don't want to play Dark Souls where I have to be really up all the time and attentive and really watching everything, and if you don't want a game like FIFA, which is really competitive and you have to know what you're doing at all times, or Assassin's Creed where you have to sneak around stuff and make sure people don't see you. If that's not what you want after a hard day's work, go out, buy Vampyr, and just play it. It's not as intense, it's not as competitive, but it is fun. It's entertaining. It's pretty much all there is to this game, to be honest. It's entertaining. You're not a hard... It is not for a hardcore game, it's not for casual gamers, it's for all gamers, but don't expect too much out of it. Just enjoy it, have fun in it, and that's it. And if you're looking for more of a challenge in this game, try to do everything in one night. Try not to sleep, not to level up too much, just go for it. Also about the trophies or the achievements, pretty easy, you get most of them just by playing the game. There are certain that you actually do have to look out for if you want them. If you are a trophy hunter or achievement hunter, you will need at least 2 playthroughs, and I think after 2 playthroughs you can actually go and collect them all. And if you're not interested in that, then don't. I mean, up to you guys really. See what you like about the game. If you think I'm full of shit, just let me know in the comments. If you feel like I'm right about everything, also let me know in the comments. As always, like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next video. That's me for now. I will leave you with me killing the last couple of victims here.